on, guys? Nate here. Today I thought I would just kind of go through and give you guys a quick overview of the concerts that I've been to. I've compiled a pretty concise list of all the concerts that I've ever been to in my entire life, and I'm pretty sure I haven't gotten every single one of them, but as you can see, or probably not see, there you go. I got like a list right here, big text list full of concerts in that little text box right there. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read off all of the concerts and tell a personal story about each of the concerts that I've been to. So let's get started. My first ever concert was the band Train in 2004 in Buffalo, New York at my elementary school. Now, the funny thing about this show is I actually don't remember if it actually happened or not. But from what I remember, the song Calling All Angels was played, because I remember the lyric, and football teams are kissing queens. That's like the only distinct part of the show, like of the actual like lyrics that I remember being played at that concert. And I remember someone, maybe one of my friends, saying that Train was playing. And I think it's pretty interesting that even back then, when I think they were still pretty popular, they were playing elementary schools. It was weird because it may have been like a Train cover band, but I'm just gonna take the benefit of the doubt and assume that it actually was Train that played. So yeah, first concert, let's say it was Train. Number two, first big concert I ever went to was Skillet in Buffalo, New York, August 3rd, 2011 at Darien Lakes Performing Arts Center for the Kingdom Bound Festival. This was the first concert I ever went, I feel like the first proper like concert that I got real psyched for. Awake by Skillet was like the first like CD album that I bought with like real money. Well, I didn't buy it, I'm pretty sure my parents bought it for me, but it was the first album that I ever actively sought out. So I was all hyped for it. I went, everything was awesome, you know, it was really intimidating because, you know, the big merch stand with the lights shining the light on all the t-shirts, and then the amphitheater was huge, and Skillet did awesome, and it was such a good concert. And then me and the friend that I went with ended up getting in trouble with the police. Yeah, after the concert ended, we were like on cloud nine because like everything was amazing. And everyone was so happy, and everyone was just cheering. Like, we walked away from the concert, and just like everyone was just in a state of euphoria because of how amazing the concert was. And me and my friend, we'll call him Julio to protect the innocent, even though he's not innocent at all. Neither am I, for that matter. We decided it would be a good idea to take Gatorade from just an abandoned, like not abandoned, but an unmanned like Gatorade stands, just when no one was looking. It was just sitting there. I'm surprised no one else decided to try to steal a Gatorade. My friend, Julio, went to go and try and take a Gatorade, and immediately, like before he could even touch one of the Gatorades, or no, sorry, he picked up the Gatorade, and then, just a police officer that appeared out of nowhere just came over and was like, hey, put that down and stay where you are. And he just picked up his walkie-talkie and started just giving random numbers to some other guy on the other line. And it was from that moment we both knew that our night had taken a turn for the worse. I had to call my dad because I wanted a parent to like verify that we were indeed their children or whatever. My dad was pissed. It almost ruined our night, but we have fond memories, and I still have this poster. Right. Where is it? There it is. I got that poster that night from the concert, and it was really cool. So yeah, next concert was the Trans-Siberian Orchestra in Buffalo, New York. Once again, most of these are in Buffalo, New York. December of 2011 at First Niagara Center. Trans-Siberian Orchestra is just a fun time, and if you ever have the means to go see them, definitely check them out. They're really amazing. And I think that the lead, I don't know who the lead guy is, I don't know his name, but apparently he went to, not only did he go to school in Buffalo, but he went to high school in the same school district I went to, which is freaking awesome. He has like a plaque in one of the schools. It's cool, with like a lot of the other alumni that did cool things. Next show, enter Shikari, Let Live, and At the Skylines, Buffalo, New York, April 10th, 2012 at Club Infinity. I can say that this is like in the top 3 scariest concert experiences of my entire life, because this was the first venue show I'd ever been to where like you go to a venue and there's just like creepy alternative people everywhere. You know, the Skillet concert was more friendly, I suppose, with friendlier people. This one was just like, you know, I'd never been in a setting where like there's just alternative people everywhere, so it was a bit weird. And not to mention, like, we had to wait, like, the wait outside. I'm not saying this because it wasn't my first time I ever had to wait outside in a venue. I think it, to this day, is, like, the longest I've ever had to wait outside in a venue because it was freaking cold. I was only wearing a t-shirt and shorts, and the wind chill was also exponentially large considering how cold it also was outside. So I thought I was gonna freeze to death. The venue guy opens the door and is like, "Hey, is everyone ready to come inside?" Everyone cheers, "Yeah." He closes the door like a dick, and I think we had to wait like another 15 minutes before they actually opened the doors, and they had to wheel the ice cube that I was inside that venue. But then Enter Shikari is a band that I would love to see again. I haven't seen them again since this show, but I would absolutely love to see that band again because I only knew 2 songs by them. Gandhi Mate Gandhi and Arguing with Thermometers. Arguably the 2 weirdest songs in their entire discography. Oh, yabba dabba do one, son, we don't want your rules. Who you fooling, son, we got all the tools. I wasn't that big on them back then. It was more my friend, same friend that I'd gone to the Skillet and the Trans-Siberian Orchestra concert with, Julio. He got super into Enter Shikari, and Let Live was fucking scary, man. Having never seen like any Screamo band live before, I didn't even like Screamo that much back then. I know Screamo is not the correct term, but we're gonna call it Screamo just because I don't feel like coming up with an alternative term. It was scary. Seeing Jason Butler take the tiles and like rip them from the ground. That didn't actually happen, but it might as well have. Was the scariest thing I've ever experienced. So there was that, and then At the Skylines, I actually ended up buying their CD outside, and I don't think I actually put it in a CD player and listened to it until like 3 or 4 years later, because I talked to the band outside, and they said something like, "Hey man, you want to buy the CD?" You know, and I was like, I only have $10, and fortunately enough, their CD was $10. Like, I mean, I didn't want to buy it, but I was holding the $10 in my hands, and they were like, and I think, quote, word for word, what one of the members said was like, "Come on, man, what's $10? A pack of cigarettes?" And I just ended up giving them $10, taking the CD, and waiting for my parents to come pick me up, feeling like a complete loser. I basically looked the way I do now with like the same length hair, maybe a little shorter, and I had a shirt that was like just kind of blue, light blue with guitars on it. And I know a lot of the people probably looked like I did too, and I mean, in retrospect, I probably didn't look that out of place, but I felt so out of place. I remember there were these 2 guys with pink mohawks at the show. RJ and Sweet Nuts, I think, are what they call themselves. And I talked to one of them after the show, but I almost couldn't even bear to look the dude in the eye because I just felt so out of place. But it's a good experience. It was a good experience, and I'm happy it happened because it would only spur more concerts in the future. Next concert, Nickelback, Bush, and My Darkest Days in Buffalo, New York, July 25th, 2012. Same place I saw Skillet, Darien Lake Performing Arts Center. This concert I originally had planned on going on with one of my friends. His name was, we'll call him John, to protect the innocent. John had never been to a concert, but he really liked Nickelback, so he wanted to go see Nickelback. And I was excited because it was the first time I was going to a concert with anyone but my friend Julio. So we listened to Nickelback a lot in the past, or we listened to a lot of Nickelback leading up to it. I still didn't drive at the time because it is only 2012, and I think I'm only 15 years old at this point, so I can't drive, neither can he. So his dad said that he would drive us. John. I think that's a fake name I gave him. John's dad decided he would drive us, and then he crapped out on us like a couple days before the concert, and John said that he couldn't go. So I had to bring Julio again. He didn't like Nickelback, but he decided he'd go anyway because it was a free concert, and we'd already bought the ticket for John, so Julio just took John's ticket and we went to the concert. And it was a good concert. My Darkest Days wasn't that good because like everyone was because as it always is at Darien Lake, everyone's filing into their seats. No one's listening to the band. They didn't even sound that loud. I don't like the acoustics at Darien Lake, and I'll get a little bit more into that as I get into future shows that I've been to. But yeah, they sounded like shit. I didn't really like them. Bush, I was kind of a staple of my 8th grade like rock phase. You know, I loved Glycerine. I still like Glycerine, and Machine Head are songs that I very much like. They played those songs, but they opened with Machine Head and closed with Glycerine. I didn't know anything in between, but I still, in my like, I don't have the shirt anymore. I got rid of it, but I bought like a manila envelope colored like Nickelback shirt with like red, like maroon text. Julio straight out told me that I looked like an idiot like the minute I changed into the shirt. I did like one of these, like I stood up in my seat when like everyone around me was sitting down while Bush was playing. I like did one of these to like every song that I didn't know, and I felt stupid. I think I was also wearing a coat too. Like I probably looked like one of those drunk guys that just like does this to like bands that he like probably doesn't even know. Only difference is I wasn't drunk. And then Nickelback, nothing really to go home about. They played their set and it was fun. Next, Shinedown, 3 Days Grace, and p.o.d. Whoa, this is in the top 3 concerts I can say I've ever been to. Oh, I should also mention this was the first show I went to someplace else other than Buffalo, in Rochester. February 22nd, 2013 at Blue Cross Arena. I went again with Julio. I still didn't have the resources, I suppose, to go to concerts myself. Okay, so p.o.d. started the show, and we didn't end up getting seats on the bottom row because I had bought the tickets and Julio had paid me back for his ticket. And I thought that I had gotten floor seats, and I hadn't, and we ended up having seats, like the arena seats, and Julio actually sat and pouted for most of p.o.d. because everyone on the floor was having a great time, and like everyone else in the seats were just like doing nothing. So what he fucking does is he manages to sneak onto the floor without any security guards noticing, borrowing someone's hoodie so that they can cover the fact that he doesn't have a wristband that everyone on the floor had, and he ended up just being on the floor the whole time. I think this was after p.o.d. played. He just like decided fuck it, and he just was like bye, and went down on the floor. And I ended up spending the whole concert by myself. 3 Days Grace played next, and this was after Adam Gontier had left and Matt Walsh had replaced him. I didn't stay for that whole show. For some reason, I just felt really depressed and just felt really angry that he'd left me where I was. Or more the fact that I just didn't want to be there, maybe. So, like, part of that show of 3 Days Grace's set, I, like, left my seat and went to the bathroom and, like, stayed there for, like, 10 minutes. And I wanted to cry. Like, I seriously wanted to cry. It was weird. But then, got Shinedown played, and holy shit, the dude's voice, just his voice, sounded just as good, if not better, than on record. And, like, all the band members were, like, wearing tuxedos, like, the whole show, but they were still, like, rocking out. The energy, like, never stopped. And then when they played the acoustic show, it was the acoustics song, it was so emotional. Yeah, crazy. One of the best shows I've ever been to. The next show I went to, this will be the last one I'll talk about in this video, for the sake of keeping this brief. If I talked about all the concerts I've ever been to, we'd probably be here for an hour, probably more. The next concert I went to was my first Warped Tour, also with Julio. Surprise, surprise. I only saw 5 bands that day. This is probably the most interesting story. The 5 bands that I saw that day at Warped Tour were Five Knives, Let Live, Crossfaith, Silverstein, and Memphis Mayfire. We stayed and like watched this like reggae band play for like not even 5 minutes. I've tried to find which band it is like for years now, but I can't remember. So I guess we also saw them for 5 minutes, but those are the only 5 bands I can really remember seeing. And the only bands I wanted to see myself was Crossfaith, and let me get into the story. So we got there an hour late. I was basically just going there with an open mind. I'm like, I already knew that there were going to be a ton of screamo bands there, and I wasn't going to like it, but I decided, hey, what the fuck, I'll just keep an open mind, go and enjoy myself. The first band we saw was Five Knives, which is really cool. They had such a cool show. The lead singer, she stage dived right on top of me. I'm not exaggerating this either. Like, I almost got crushed on my first ever show at Warped Tour. And, like, one of the guys even came up to, not in the band, but like, someone even came up to me and was like, dude, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, that was awesome. I enjoyed being stage dived on, apparently. It was a rush of euphoria, almost like I can't describe. It was kind of cool. After then, we went up and got I was wearing my Green Day shirt, and one of the members complimented my Green Day shirt. And, the lead singer, she told me that she never stage dived in a crowd that small before, which means I've probably taken more weight from the lead singer of Five Knives than anyone else ever will have in their entire life. It's an interesting anecdote that absolutely no one will be able to relate to, but hey, it's something, right? Need to leave my legacy somewhere. Let Live was next. I didn't want to see Let Live again. I didn't, because Let Live was scary the last time I saw him. And at least I had a barricade. I was not all the way up at the front of the barricade like at the Enter Shikari Let Live show that I'd previously been to. We were in the middle, like in the back of the audience, I think, for this Let Live show. And I kind of just sat through it. I didn't enjoy it. I still had never heard a single Let Live song, but this was my second time seeing them, which was interesting. After that, I think we walked around for a little while. And I wanted to see Crossfaith because I had seen their music video for Monolith that I thought was kind of cool. So I wanted to see them perform that live, and the show was freaking awesome. Julio was like, this band better be cool, and then he heard the first like, he was like, this is freaking awesome. So I was like, yes! I'd finally turned Julio onto a band. He'd only ever turned me on to bands, and finally I turned him onto a band, which is kind of cool. And the show was awesome. I spent the whole time headbanging, just because I wanted the band to notice me. It was on like the Kevin Says, not the Kevin Says, it was on the Ernie Ball stage. Had the whole band sign my shirt. It was really cool. Silverstein, Julio took me to next. Thought they were kind of cool back then. Now they're one of my favorite bands, which was cool. I also saw Memphis Mayfire, and I didn't enjoy it. It was a huge crowd. I felt like I was 5 miles away from the stage. This one like random girl talked to me, who was really short, and then I ended up, here's a fun story, losing Julio for 3 hours. See, my dad did not like the fact that I was going to see concerts with Julio because of what had happened at the Skillet concert just a year prior, and it happened again. I had to tell my dad, yeah, lost Julio, haven't seen him in 3 hours. So we must have sat for like an hour waiting for Julio to find us, looking for him, until finally he walked up to our car. So I missed the last 3 hours of Warped Tour. Julio had seen August Burns Red, who's another one of my now favorite bands. I wish I could have seen him back then, although I probably wouldn't have liked him back then. So yeah, those were the first 7 shows that I've ever been to. I'm happy I went to all these shows, you know? Although I was probably scared out of my mind for most of them, except the Skillet one, because that was the one that I enjoyed the most. I'm really happy I went to these concerts, and I want to go to them for the rest of my life, you know? It's something that I would like to be around for a good portion of my life, and I feel like all of them have left their own impact on me in some type of way. Let me know in the comments some of your crazy concert stories, your favorite concert, your least favorite concert. Yeah, just tell me all about it, and I'll maybe consider continuing this series in another video. If you guys want to see more, let me know. If not, we'll continue on to something else. But yeah, we'll move on. Thanks guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next video, whatever that may be. Take care.